The strategy for the Afghanistan war was revealed this evening by President Barack Obama at a nationally televised speech from West Point. The plan for the United States fight against the Taliban and the rebuilding of the Afghanistan infrastructure was revealed. The necessary war, as he has billed it, would need 30,000 more new troops to be deployed as soon as possible, with a timeline. Now, the reason for this war, this necessary war, as he has billed it, was 9/11 and Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's willingness to come to the United States of America and maim and kill over 3,000 American citizens, and to just threaten the security and our well-being here is the reason for this necessary war. I agree with that. Now the plan is this. The plan is this. The plan is 30,000 troops to be deployed as soon as possible. 18 months later, they will begin to deploy back to America. 3 years later, we plan to be out of Afghanistan, with Afghanistan standing strong on its own. Now, that is the plan, and they are better at military strategy than I am, so I would go with what they're saying, and I agree with that. But we all know great plans change. And I just believe that this whole thing will depend on how Afghanistan as a country and a government is going to learn and sustain their own country and their own government and their own infrastructure. Now, this whole thing, it's kind of complicated, but he said it was a necessary war, and I believe it to be necessary because this region has to be stabilized just to make sure that the world in itself can feel safe, because there's a lot of things going on there. It just has to be stabilized, and it's been war there for years and years, and this thing has to be stabilized. And I think this government of America can accomplish those things. Now, President Obama made some very interesting statements tonight about the American forces and just the American armed forces, you know, as a whole. Now, he said that America is the strongest country on earth, and we could put force, deadly force on the Taliban that they have never seen or even imagined. And I believe this, and I know it's true, but we have to look at the consequences of our actions in the long run. That's something I never really thought about what he said tonight. And that's a great point. Now, Afghanistan must be willing to move forward and upward. Now, that will depend on their president, President Karzai, and his willingness to work with the world and his own people in his country to build the infrastructure to move their country forward economically. Now, of course, this region has to be stabilized. Okay? Now, because what's at stake here is the stability of the world, not only the stability of the United States. Now, also, Pakistan would be included in this whole deal. Now, there would be no safe haven for the Taliban, period. No safe haven. If you run them out of Afghanistan, they go to Pakistan. You would not be safe there, Taliban. And that's good. But I still believe that this thing has to be done with force. And I mean deadly force. Because the Taliban, these guys, they have nothing, but they will not, these guys are not afraid to die. And that means that they are bullies. Bullies would do stuff like that. And I mean, in my neighborhood where I grew up, Now, the way we deal with bullies and the way I deal with a bully was I walk up to him and I hit him in his mouth. Now, if he got up, I kick him in his rib cage. If he got up again, I hit him with a baseball bat. And if he got up again, well, you know the consequence of that. But now, I don't know if war is predicated on the national stage or the world stage where we handle our neighborhood. But I'm here. I survived my neighborhood, and my neighborhood was not very kind. But I'm here, and I survived my neighborhood with the way we handled it. But now, the world is a different thing, I'm sure, because there's more deadly weapons, and there's things that happen because of the use of these weapons that will affect the world in the long run. I understand that. That's a very good point. But in the long run, I'm going to trust President Barack Obama in helping this region become stable, and I think he really does not want to pass this war on to the next president. And I respect him for that. I respect him for ending something that he was given, but he wants to end it, and I respect him for that. And I believe he will do it. Thank you, America. Keep the faith.